Speaking of crypto, the Justice Department is just eliminating its financial crimes division with regards to crypto. Its entire crypto squad has been axed. No longer pursuing any cases. They're just not going to enforce crypto cases, which is interesting. So I sent this. I mean, I saw this as it got published, because I was in my reading time. And I sent it instantly to CoffeeZilla. He might have made a video by now. We could watch it. But I sent it instantly to him, and he sent me back. He said, I'm so depressed about it. It's all I can do is to laugh. Thinking about hanging up the hat, I mean suspenders. That's crazy. Like, what is the point of him being able to bring attention to crypto fraud if there's no enforcement?
Welcome to my ongoing slide into depression. The U.S. Justice Department just disbanded their cryptocurrency enforcement unit. At this point, guys, it's just us. We're the only ones out here calling this stuff out. The government itself does not care. The real memo here is that essentially in light of the Trump presidency, they're gonna cool off on a lot of their prior enforcements, specifically as it relates to virtual currency exchanges, mixing and tumbling services like Tornado Cash, and offline wallets. And they say this is to target instead.
Do you guys think CoffeeZilla is just jealous of all the gains everyone made in crypto and is like taking it out on the world? Or do you guys get the vibe that he's like a fudder, you know, who secretly is jealous of SBF for being more brilliant than him? Do you think CoffeeZilla bought a bunch of crypto, but then when it did a slight dip, he sold and panicked and had paper hands? And now he's mad at all the diamond hands chads that are holding strong?
The DOJ says it won't pursue cases it feels are better left to financial regulators, which is, you know, it's just incredibly loose language. And the problem is the financial regulators themselves have been gutted, as evidenced by every day it seems that the SEC is dropping another case. What financial regulators are we leaving cases to exactly? This seems more like...
For those who haven't been through something like this is like exactly the steps that happened in Clancyville to make it go from a thriving city to a despair-ridden hellhole. I distinctly remember when Clancyville stopped enforcing financial crimes. Like I've lived through that. I know my lived experience matters to you, but I remember that happening and thinking, wow, this could be bad. And all of a sudden, it is scary stuff. One thing I'll say though is maybe I'm slightly less doomer on the lack of crypto enforcement specifically, only because I think crypto has already scammed so much it solved itself. In my mind, and from what I'm seeing, the problem of young men lured into crypto to lose their money is now kind of ending, in that they've already been scammed so much they've been burned away. Everyone has been rugged. And so I just see the prices dropping left and right on all sorts of crypto, even with the government behind them, essentially. So I do feel, I still think it should be persecuted, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's doomed regardless. Crypto as currency. Oh man, he's gonna become the crypto Joker. Or Batman. If we don't see CoffeeZilla and then we start seeing a masked man beating up hodlers, if Jack Black did a rug pull, I'd thank him. Chicken jockey coin?
Chicken jockey!
I'd have to buy in, dude. You'd have to. I'd be mad, but it's legal. I need crypto to crash so Clint Stevens is forced to stream again. Listen, I don't know Clint's financials, but I do know that he asked for my advice and I set him up with a guy to help get all his taxes paid and hopefully diversified. So I don't think he has to. I don't think he's still holding a bunch of fucking shit coins. Your positivity really reigns on my bitchy pessimism. I'm sorry. I'll try to tone it down. Have you seen this really well-made speech by the Singapore PM regarding tariffs? I have seen this, but I'll watch it.
We have known for some time that the world is in flux. The familiar signposts are fading, but the contours of a new global system have yet to take shape.
True.
So we are in a period of transition, uncertain, unsettled, and increasingly unstable.
True.
For nearly 80 years since the end of World War II, America was the anchor for the free market economies of the world. It championed free trade and open markets and led efforts to build a multilateral trading system. But not all Americans feel this way about their economy. There are hollowed out towns in what was once America's thriving industrial belt. There are workers whose jobs have disappeared and whose incomes have stagnated. They believe that the American economy...
Dude, first of all, just crazy that the Prime Minister of Singapore even having to showcase the side about some hollowed out Rust Belt towns in America. Can you imagine an American leader, really on any side, talking about like problems in villages in Singapore? You know, like, it's just why it's funny that he even has to. What I'm saying is true. It's just funny that he has to do it.
But there is nothing inherently wrong about running a trade deficit. It simply means that American consumers are buying more from the world than the world is buying from America. Moreover, the focus has been solely on the goods trade. That only gives a partial picture. In fact, the US runs a surplus with many of its trading partners in services, exporting software services, education, entertainment, financial and business services. But this fact has been completely ignored.
True.
In Singapore's case, we have an FTA with America. We impose zero tariffs on US imports, and we actually run a trade deficit with the US, meaning we buy more from them than they do from us.
Surely you didn't get tariffed, right?
If the tariffs were truly reciprocal, and if they were meant to target only those with trade surpluses, then the tariff for Singapore should be zero. But still, we are being subjected to the 10% tariff. We are very disappointed by the US move, especially considering the deep and long-standing friendship between our two countries. These are not actions one does to a friend.
Yikes! Yikes! Yikes, dude. He's giving us the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed parent speech. This is like what a friend would say to you if you truly fucked around. You know, like if you were an asshole to a friend for a long time, they would sit you down and say this and it would feel so bad.
The likelihood of a full-blown global trade war is growing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about tomorrow on the podcast, is the likelihood of a total trade war and what that means, and historical examples of trade wars and what that's led to, sometimes into world wars. You know, one of the big things that prevented major power conflicts for the past 70 years, 80 years, is free trade, is the economic connections.
So this round of tariff increases by the US may just be the beginning of more increases to come globally. And we've seen this play out before.
Yeah, he's kind of
The
like...
US enacted sweeping tariff increases through the Smoot-Hawley Act in 1930. Many countries protested and a number retaliated with their own trade restrictions and tariffs. This deepened and extended the Great Depression. In some ways, today's risk may be greater. The new US tariffs, if fully enacted, are higher than the ones in Smoot-Hawley.
Significantly.
Trade is now a much bigger part of the American and global economy compared to the 1930s. Supply chains are also more deeply connected than they were back then. Any disruption to trade flows will have wider knock-on effects on the world.
We never had a leader in America say knock-on effects once. Ever. In my whole life.
One major concern is the US-China relationship. America views China as a strategic competitor and threat, which must be dealt with now while America still has the advantage. China says it is ready for a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war. So if the disputes escalate and destabilize US-China relationship, the consequences for the world would be disastrous.
It's insane that Singapore, I mean, I don't know this guy to be honest, but based on this, he seems like a extremely thoughtful, insightful, understanding his country's place in the world, their advantages, their disadvantages, what's going on around them. It's crazy that Singapore got two. It's crazy they got Lee Kuan Yew and this guy. You'd think that's lucky. That's lucky because when you have an authoritarian state, the risk of it going wrong is like when you get some dumb grandson of some, you know, you get somebody's kid or you get somebody who doesn't know shit and they get in office and f everything up. But they got two like seemingly really good leaders.
Singapore may or may not go into recession this year, but I have no doubt that our growth will be significantly impacted. We had originally projected GDP growth of 1 to 3% for 2025. MTI is reassessing the growth forecast and will likely revise it downwards.
Dude, that statement seems like normal on the surface, but it's just insane because nobody in America would ever say that. Nobody in America would ever just be honest. Like, yeah, this is going to be bad. Growth might slow. They would never do that. They would always put a spin on it that it's like going to be great. So many people took a victory lap today because it was green in the morning. The stock market might go green for a day or a week or a month, but I mean, the trend is downward right now because the chaos is up. But they didn't even wait for the full day. Trump is as bad at causing recessions as he is at causing world wars. Black Monday hoax is over. David Sachs hasn't tweeted in a week comes out of the fucking woodwork to tweet that the whole thing was a hoax. Worst recession ever from fucking Madison shithead Cawthorn. And then fucking by the end of the day, it's deeper red. Like it's down. Everything's down on the day. Benny Johnson was back again. He's the guy that just said it doesn't matter if you lose money. Isn't he the guy who just said don't care about the stock market? It doesn't matter if you lose money. Like it builds character. But then the second it goes green, he's bragging about it. And then it goes red again. It's absurd. It's absurd. I don't know. Double standard on talking about the stock market. He tweeted right here. You know, it's up a little bit. He tweeted right here. But there will be more green days. It's not, you know, it's more about, you should look at the fucking VIX, dude. This is the uncertainty index. Really high in 08, really high in 2020, really high now. Okay? It just means things are gonna get more erratic, bigger swings, bigger whipsaws. It means the market has realized shit is not stable. Things are not priced appropriately. And there's a mad rush to the exit to figure it out. You know, it's up when Bitcoin's more stable than the New York Stock Exchange. Bitcoin ain't stable for shit, bro. As I've said, the true proof of whether or not Bitcoin is digital gold is how well it holds up in this time. And it's dropping like it's a tech stock. There's nothing special about it, dude. It's not showing any like counter cyclical thing where the market goes one way and Bitcoin stays stable. The Bitcoin does exactly what the market does. 19% down this year is probably exactly the same as the NASDAQ. Dude, look at that. This year, Bitcoin down 19, NASDAQ down 20. It's the same thing. Bitcoin is a bet on tech stocks. There's no difference, dude. It's always tracked at 1-to-1. Everyone's acting like it's so. It's not digital gold. Let's see actual gold, tough guy. Actual gold's up 10%.